Morning, everyone. Happy Friday. I'm the Grace Strega, and I'm here to give you your daily collective read for today, Friday, December 15th, 2023. What do we have coming through in our cards for today? First card in our 5 card today is our 8 of Swords. What self-limiting beliefs are you holding on to today? Are they necessary, or does it take a little bit of adaptation and adjustment? This could be feeling a point of frustration in some of your personal limitations today, my friends. I don't know if you got the memo. We're in the middle of the Mercury retrograde. I'm not surprised to see this. But again, the Mercury retrogrades are gifts. These limitations, these hurdles, are points that can be utilized as a point and trigger of adaptation. Let them serve as catalysts for what needs to be changed. If there's a better way of doing something, if there is an easement point, that is what this retrograde is all about. Identifying the hurdles so that you can do a little bit of that shop work. Masculine and feminine are seeing this heavily right now in the divine union frequency, specifically due to the fact that masculine and feminine having basically a conversation about the best that they can potentially do is put forth what they're going to put forth. How it is accepted, how it is received is that gift, that grace that you need to give once you put something out into the world. That's basically the modality that masculine and feminine in the divine union frequency is effectively affirming to themselves, which is not letting other people's limitations impede or adjust what the masculine and feminine are putting out. This is why we see, I've been describing this almost as this feeling of like a gift that is being given without any desire of something being given back in kind. That's basically the modality that we see the divine union frequency operating in, which is almost that point in saying, I'm not doing this. Masculine and feminine aren't doing this like healing work right now in the energy around their own karmic, like their own unhealed karmic energy for the sake of getting something back. They're effectively doing it because it's now the vibration that they're in. It's almost like doing it not even because of that expectation of a return on it. It's just what needs to be conducted going forward. And for masculine and feminine in this modality right now, it's almost that lack of care or concern to a certain extent is almost what's further amplifying it, because it's allowing that identification point between what feels like it can be controlled versus what can't be controlled. That untangible variable on how others will receive what you're trying to give them is effectively the intangible variable. Masculine energy is looking at it more like whack-a-mole. Masculine's like, no, I feel like we can just winnow these down. If I just keep working on this way, if I keep expressing in this fashion, something will change. Masculine's looking at it like a little bit of like water over a river rock. Feminine is looking at it more as like a confine. Feminine is looking at it more as a limitation. Feminine is almost looking at some of that right now and being like, maybe it's safer not to. Maybe it's safer not to push back on those walls. What we appreciate for the energy in divine union is like finding that happy medium right now is like what's amplifying the security of the circumstances and situations. But it is taking a little bit of a different perception. Masculine and feminine almost guarding each other's back, if you will, in this modality, looking at something either from like over positivity versus like a lot of cynicism, right? And like the two converge and we've got that middle ground. Masculine and feminine that are coming into the divine union frequency. This is that modality in feeling the same exact vibration. We effectively see here that masculine and feminine feel some of the weight of the pressure that created the state of the divine union coming into fruition right now. And it's almost that point of observation that feels like a little bit of that push-pull, because depending, it could be feeling like, again, the outside energy around the divine union is looking at the divine union as something that limits, it hinders. Whereas the energy within it is potentially looking at some of that outside energy as the hindrance, as the limit. And this could be a moment that we're effectively seeing right now that is like, again, testing the boundaries of the divine union. So even today, there may be a little bit of that triggering energy, if you will, if you're trying to come into the divine union frequency, because it does express some kind of limitation point that you're potentially feeling as it relates to how you want to move forward and experiencing and feeling some of that hurdle and setback energy around you at this time. Masculine and feminine in separation right now. This is the feminine energy. that is feeling that level or degree of frustration. Why is the feminine feeling this level or degree of frustration right now if in separation? Because this is feminine energy that is either experiencing feeling this level or degree of frustration right now if in separation. Because this is feminine energy that is either experiencing communities of romantic connections with masculine. Now, if this is feminine energy in separation right now, we see that feminine energy is almost employing a watch and wait approach as it relates to any of the energy from the past approaching them at this time. Because feminine is almost moving in a state or space of observation to see if any energy is coming towards the feminine, having learned these lessons, having come into a point of self-realization as to what needs to change to allow for a more productive situation or circumstance going forward. For a lot of the feminine energy that is moving in this modality right now, it is more of that point of observation about the difference between an energy coming back to the feminine because they've effectively changed versus an energy that wants to go back into the same situation or circumstance that may have created a difficulty or hurdle for the feminine in the first place. Feminine is being very observant right now in relation, and this is why we see to a certain extent that for some of the feminine energy here, it is that point of having to hold back, that hindrance that we described in seeing something about the masculine and feeling like you can't articulate upon it unless the masculine is able to see it within the self. This is why we see that a feminine, even right now, if there's a masculine that's coming back to the feminine, but they haven't necessarily brought any point of a personal observation, if they're not holding a point of accountability as to why the feminine is closed off to the feminine's almost feeling that bittersweet point in recognizing that they can't necessarily open up to a certain degree because they realize that it is an impossible terrain, that there's nothing that the feminine can say that will bring the masculine into that point of understanding. And so in a way, this is almost a point of feminine feeling that frustration in their own personal limitation and being able to want to heal and work with the masculine, but almost identifying that they cannot do that healing work until the masculine is observant of the fact that there's something here that needs to be healed. I described this a lot yesterday as like feminine looking right now, like being in a classroom with masculine and suddenly realizing that you've been practicing or studying different things. The feminine is willing to teach the masculine these things, help them maintain that point. But if the masculine is still convinced that they're trying to learn a different subject, feminine is now just at this point of feeling that frustration and being like, I cannot work with you in that capacity unless you show me some facility in recognizing that that is something that you want to learn. Feminine feeling this right now is, again, almost feminine taking a little bit of a wait and see approach as it relates to any of the masculine energy around them, to just see and observe if this is a masculine that feels like they've come into that point of self-understanding. Masculine in separation right now, you could be feeling a little frustrated. It could be feeling right now like you're encountering a lot of these like personal limitations within the self right now. There may be some situations and circumstances around you that you're feeling some frustration point because you're not necessarily feeling like they're going anywhere. They're moving in the direction that you would aspire or desire them to. But we see here that this is going to feel like more of an internal journey because this is a point of observing. Almost immediately asking one's own self what might be occurring within the self that needs to change, that is creating this state of frustration for yourself to begin with. Because we've been seeing that for a lot of the masculine energy and separation right now, there's a lot of personal observation that is coming into play as it relates to some circumstances from the past where you would effectively do something different, but you realize you can't go back to those modalities, versus how you go forward from here, because this is almost that point in seeing a personal limitation but still being a little uncertain on how to facilitate on it. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Second card in our 5-card spread for today is our King of Wands. Masculine and feminine energy in divine union right now. This is effectively what we are identifying that is allowing for this feeling of feminine. Where's the anxiety of the feminine coming from right now if in divine union? This is looking at masculine that's trying to like convince them about their own perspective on things. What did we see was happening right now for the energy in divine union? Masculine's like, I have a plan. I want to bring this like positivity into spaces and places. This is what we're going to do going forward. Feminine is almost saying to masculine in divine union right now, bearing in mind this is not based on gender. Whoa, slow down. maybe that's not like, maybe there's like, make sure you're looking before you leap. Make sure that this is something that is like, going to be positive or productive. Masculine is literally amplifying to the feminine, trying to say, don't worry. I have a plan. I know what this is like. It's okay. Because again, we are seeing here that this is the feminine looking at the masculine, moving with an open heart space right now and trying to be like, I've had this not work out in the way that I would aspire to. And this is masculine literally saying to the feminine, you don't need to worry about that right now, because whoever that happened with was not me. We weren't on the same side. The reason that happened, and this is almost masculine now giving feminine the gift of insight. You see how this mirror is working? Now masculine's going to feminine saying, I know exactly what happened to you in that experience. I know exactly why that what you tried to do hurt you, and why, and this is why we see your masculine is much more confident here, because masculine's almost saying to feminine, there's one thing you don't understand. There's one thing that you might think you understand, but you don't know as well as you think you do. Masculine's almost saying to feminine right now in divine union, there's one thing that I am a master of, and that's how the masculine energy thinks. This is literally the masculine now giving a gift to the feminine, almost saying to the feminine and saying, I see your own blind spots here. What you're worried was going to happen in those modalities, what you're worried about occurred to you in those spaces and places. The reason they're not going to happen is because, again, we are in divine union, and I am here, and I know how masculine energy thinks, and I am on your side. I am here. I am supporting you. We are in divine union. This is a collaborative effort. So this is the masculine, again, almost, this is the beauty of this, because as the feminine has helped the masculine build that emotional connectivity, masculine is now almost saying to the feminine and saying, I understand those things that occurred to you. I understand what happened, and I almost understand them in a way that you yourself can't recognize, because I understand the perception of the masculine energy that made you feel like that put you in that position. And this is almost the masculine saying to the feminine, helping the feminine see their own anxieties and fears and giving them confidence by saying to them, that's not going to happen because now I am here. That's not going to happen because I also am in that same modality. This is almost masculine saying what happened to you happened because it was masculine energy. I also being in masculine energy is going to make sure that that isn't going to happen again. So again, the beauty of the divine union is assessing, finding each other's blind spots, and then being able to move very operationally from those 2 points. Masculine and feminine coming into divine union right now. This is how to navigate that energy that put pressure on the divine union forming, that potentially created that sense of crisis. Like you said, there's almost that pressure of the divine union. If this energy stayed in divine union, that actually solidified the divine union. If masculine held forth in what they were trying to manifest, this is something that is creating that sense of stability. And this is masculine almost effectively, again, approaching any energy around the divine union right now and articulating their own will. And again, almost identifying and saying to energy around them, I know that what you think the choice I'm making is limiting is. But I also see why you would say that that is, because it's almost this moment of masculine having that point of observation in terms of energy around them that was trying to pull the divine union across and saying, limiting for whom? Limiting for whom? Is it limiting for me? Or is it limiting for you? Feminine seeing this right now is potentially feeling that sense of stability and security that the divine union's forming, because again, masculine energy isn't falling for the hook of energy trying to say to some way, shape, or form that the divine union is a limiting experience. It's like that limitation point is true. It just means outside of the divine union. Masculine and feminine in separation right now. This is feminine energy effectively amplifying and articulating right now, looking for masculine energy that understands the feminine energy's own resistance point. This is a feminine energy that's staying somewhat closed off to masculine, even at a point of communication right now. But feminine is trying to identify if a masculine understands why. If this is a masculine that's looking towards a feminine at this time and being like, I understand why you're in this modality. I understand why you are so closed off. I understand why you're not just opening up. This is a masculine that the feminine recognizes is almost taking accountability because they themselves have done the work in recognizing what needs to be healed in the masculine energy field. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. And that is either coming through as a masculine energy from the past, coming towards feminine and amplifying and articulating and saying, you've got every right to be there. You have every right to be closed off to me. You have every right to have these walls up around me. And masculine's almost like, I'm happy to talk to you through this. Because what masculine's looking at right now is almost like a feminine energy that's like almost energetically and spiritually talking to them through the bars. But what the masculine's not realizing, and this is a masculine that's smart, is like that's not an energy of a feminine. That's like a feminine that's put themselves in there to protect because they feel like the danger point is outside of the energy. This is masculine almost seeing this and being like, no, this is a feminine energy. It's like the masculine's looking at feminine in separation right now, being like, why are you in there? Who put you in there? And feminine's like, I am in there to protect from you. Like, this is feminine going, I put myself in here. This is where I'm staying. Because it's almost like that point of optics right now. And it's almost masculine having that point of observation and seeing and saying like, oh, it's me. I see. Feminine is almost right now utilizing that as that point of observation through communication to see, is this a situation or circumstance that you want to have your guard down on? Masculine energy, feminine energy in separation right now, you're effectively doing that. You're staying very closed off. You're staying very closed off. And you see, feminine sees the fact they're staying closed off because this is feminine that like, you know, if it looks like the feminine's in a cage, feminine's not in a cage. Feminine's like in one of those things that like you put in the water where the sharks are to make sure that they're safe. Feminine's like, this is not like, feminine's like, yeah, okay, I'm closed off. That's what's happening. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Third card in our 5-card spread. Why? Divine union. Masculine and feminine in divine union frequency. This is what we see, you know, again, feminine energy right now. And I think that this is really important. Feminine energy is just moving right now from a space or place where the maintaining the divine union is the feminine energy's sole priority. Feminine energy is being very fastidious right now in terms of focusing so much on preserving and maintaining the divine union. And this is why we see, in a certain extent, feminine energy is almost feeling some anxiety point as it relates to their own determination points right now, because this is almost feminine energy that has experienced situations and circumstances wherein their own ability to move with autonomy may have interfered in their ability to maintain a frequency of divine union with masculine energy. This is literally masculine energy saying, not on my watch. Not on my watch. What you're afraid that will happen is not going to happen, because masculine's almost looking and saying, that is the difference. That is why what you were in prior to this was not a divine union. It was energy that just wanted to keep you on a shelf. It was energy that just wanted you in that modality of being at the behest of the masculine energy. This is masculine energy saying, in order for us to be in divine union, you must be as free as I am. There must be that moment of equality. We must be equal in that point. And this is masculine energy that's almost amplifying that level or degree of equality in the divine union is necessary to remain in the frequency of the divine union. So this is almost masculine that is trying to help the feminine come out of that state or space of self-doubt, of personal limitation, because masculine is almost amplifying to the feminine, if in divine union, I'm not here because I have to be. I'm in the divine union because I want to be. And I want to continue to maintain that with you. And nothing that you do is going to interfere with that, which is why we can move forward in this way. And I want you to recognize that you don't need to be in that state of fear, given that, because this is that point of harmony. Feminine seeing this right now in masculine energy is immediately feeling the amplification of being in divine union. Masculine and feminine that are coming into divine union, this is effectively articulating to the energy around you that this is not something that you have to do. This is literally masculine almost saying, I am choosing to do this. So especially if this is energy around the masculine right now that's trying to put, again, any of that weight on the masculine energy in relation to them going into divine union and being like, seems like you're limiting yourself. Like, seems, are they making you do that? Masculine being like, no, I want to be there. This isn't something that is being thrust on me. This is almost masculine amplifying if they're going to divine union for everyone and saying, this is something that I'm joyfully entering. This is not something that I'm trying to hide. This isn't something I'm trying to navigate around. This isn't something that feels like it's going to limit to me. It's something that is expanding. It is growing. It is something that is building outwards. And masculine in this modality right now is almost amplifying that to the energy around them, even as they move into the divine union frequency. Masculine energy, feminine energy in separation right now. This is that moment that, again, there's a lot of open communication right now with masculine energy, but feminine is reserving their judgment because feminine energy is looking at the masculine energy right now and trying to say, do you actually want divine union? Do you actually want divine union? Or are you just looking to have some kind of energy that relates into an imbalance? Build a situation or circumstance where, you possess me, and then we're not necessarily in union. Are you just looking for something that may feel more like that modality where I am on a shelf and you kind of do what you want? This is feminine literally trying to suss out right now if masculine energy around them actually desires the divine union, or if they're moving in this modality right now of just trying to have something that feels good for them but doesn't feel necessarily equal. Continuing to get masculine energy in separation right now. This could be a moment that feels a little self-limiting because you might be running right now to energy that's in divine union and almost saying into the energy in divine union, how'd you do it? How do you have this? How do you have something like this? What did you do? I don't know what to do here. So for the masculine energy in separation right now, there could be a moment that you're putting a lot of care and attention and observing the energy in divine union to try to build that understanding on what you need to change within your own self right now to help you maintain that level or to find that for yourself going forward. Fourth card in our 5-card spread for today, 2 cards coming out. We've got, we've got here our Justice card. And our King of Cups. Now, masculine and feminine energy in divine union. This is what we see effectively happening. Because what did I say was happening for the energy right now of masculine and divine union? They're trying to build bridges. They're trying to heal circumstances and situations from the past. Feminine's a lot more hesitant on that. Feminine's like, be careful. You might kick a hornet's nest. Masculine's almost going, why are you so worried about leading with your heart space, leading to you getting hurt? And feminine looking at masculine and being like, are you serious right now? Are you serious? Let me tell you about my whole life. It's like feminine literally going to masculine being like, are you kidding right now? This is literally like all the feminine. This is even like the ancestral stuff. This is feminine being like, let me tell you about all of human experience. Let me tell you about all of human experience, about what can happen if you lead from the heart space. For feminine, in this modality right now, there is this moment, and again, it is the security of masculine saying, the reason that happened, it's almost masculine saying, I can see the problem in every story you just told me. There was no divine union there. There was no divine union. There was someone being taken advantage of. This is almost masculine pointing to feminine story and saying the thing that you didn't see was that you were being taken advantage of. That energy was being taken advantage of. And I'm now here in the divine union. We're in the divine union. That's not going to happen. We've got each other's backs. This is the balance coming in. This is masculine, again, almost affirming and saying, I don't want this to be a situation where you are moving in fear. I want you to be free because that is the frequency of the divine union. And because that creates a space or place where the gift masculine is having is the emotional balance. Masculine's like, the gift I get in divine union is I can maintain emotional balance. I need to bring this out. I need to utilize this. I need to use this as a purpose moving forward. We need to continue forward in this way. And I'm going to protect you as we do so. This is feminine seeing this right now, is almost feeling that further amplification, because this is, again, masculine being in a state or space of being receptive, listening to the feminine articulate on their own limitations and embodying them and saying, again, this is masculine now putting a hammer to the nail and saying, anywhere you feel limited and stuck, well, that's where we got to start. That's where we got to start our work. And masculine almost letting that be that point and saying, I'm doing that work now, even with the connections that I'm making, because the connection with you has taught me the gift of finding that emotional balance and peace within myself. Masculine and feminine coming into divine union right now. This is masculine energy now, again, much like the energy we see in the divine union, trying to heal the energy around the divine union, getting more fastidious. This is masculine energy affirming their choice to all of the energy around them. Again, almost amplifying and almost saying to the energy around them, especially if they cast doubt on the masculine going into divine union, almost effectively saying to a certain extent, I know you think that I'm limiting myself. I know you see this as a moment that you think I'm limiting my possibilities, or I'm closing something off. But this is masculine almost amplifying to the energy around them. Your perception is flawed. Your perception of things is flawed, because you know why? This is like, again, this is masculine almost trying to describe to the masculine energy around them to a certain extent, especially if they were trying to move them away from divine union. Divine union is like a church. It's like when you're outside a church and the lights are on, the stained glass windows, they look kind of crummy, right? They look kind of drab. He's like, you're not on the inside. When you're inside, it glows. You don't know what it's like in here, because that's where I am. So it's always going to look limiting to you. It's always going to look a little shabby to you, because you're not on the inside of it. And this is masculine almost amplifying this and saying, like, I am confident, I feel balanced in my choice, because the divine union is creating emotional balance for the masculine. That is the gift. Feminine energy, if coming into divine union, seeing a masculine that is amplifying this and saying, well, I can understand why they feel like that, because they don't know you like I know you. They don't have what we have together. What exists between us is the magic. That's what we've created. Let them think what they want. I'm secure in my choice. Feminine seeing a masculine like that, further strength. Masculine saying, I've got you. I'm not letting this be a moment that you're going to be limited. We need to do some work to make sure others see this as well in the same way. This is the masculine almost, again, moving right back into that same frequency. Feminine energy in separation right now. This is that moment. Feminine's got, look at this. Feminine's got a lot of masculine energy around them right now in separation. Feminine energy is literally utilizing the act of discernment right now to determine what feels like it's actually motivated by the idea and aspiration of divine union versus any energy that feels like they haven't gotten the knack of it yet. Versus any energy that they may still not necessarily have that full understanding, that's still looking for something that feels like it is less imbalanced. Feminine is literally closing themselves off to a certain extent and employing that limitation point in their own accessibility, waiting for the masculine to effectively show the feminine in some way, shape, or form that they've mastered this ability, that they truly desire something that feels reciprocal and equal, as opposed to something that feels like a lot of the feminine energy feeling in the past, masculine energy just kind of like wanting to collect feminine energy like Pokemon cards. Feminine energy is like looking at the masculine and being like, am I a Pokemon card to you? Or are we actually together? Are we actually in this? Are we actually building something reciprocal? Feminine's like literally just waiting to see if masculine's actually coming towards feminine with this aspiration and desire. Masculine energy in separation, what we are effectively seeing at this time is a moment that, again, masculine energy is potentially is moving right now, speaking and in relation to a lot of other masculine energy. potentially even masculine energy, getting advice, getting support. There's a moment right now, masculine, you're seeing potentially some self-limiting things within the self over the last few days. And this is that moment that masculine, you're utilizing your powers of observation to look at energy that feels like they're in strong, positive partnership, and also potentially talking to the masculines in that state or space. Basically almost saying like, how did you do it? How did you get that? What is your secret? And masculine's almost looking at the masculine energy and saying, you got to balance yourself. It's got to start in here. No, but how did you get that? And it's like, it's not something I got. It's something I created. And masculine's almost going to masculine being like, but how? And like, you know what I mean? It's like you see what's happening here? It's like the balancing of the emotion. It's like masculine's like, well, you got to heal your inner child first. Masculine's like, okay, so it's like there's a lot of note taking that's potentially happening right now. All right, continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Fifth card in our 5-card spread is here's the thing. Masculine energy in separation. The problem that's happening on this right now is one that's almost looking more like tangible, right? It's almost like having that point that's feeling like masculine is looking right now as if in separation, and you're feeling in some way like your limitation for coming into divine union is based entirely on your own ability in having something tangible that would allow for the divine union to occur. This is almost the problem right now, the hurdle you may need to experience right now, masculine energy and separation, is you're looking at tangible hurdles as something that you can like accommodate and adjust for. This is almost like masculine, like trying to rearrange their house or rearrange their circumstances to make something more accommodating to allow for divine union to come in. While literally the energy around masculine right now, if in separation, is like, it's not about that. It's not so much about like the outside, it's about the inside. It's about, and masculine's almost like there's almost like a point of resistance here in that, because again, that work, remember I said like the masculine energy looking for like masculine, like wanting to put that like hammer to a nail energetically. This is masculine again, even taking that emotional work and being like, okay, so maybe I should like, this is like masculine almost being like, well, what do? It's like, well, you got to balance your emotionality. And masculine's like, maybe I should meditate more. And masculine's like, I know, I'll build a meditation center. I'll do this. It's like, just do the work. Just do the emotional work. Just do the emotional work. So a lot of this is potentially this moment that feels a little bit like outside in. And so even for a lot of the masculine energy and separation right now, this may be coming through as like a lot of like trying to like adjust the external environment, but might be a little blindsiding on like the internal experience that needs to be navigated here as you're going through this, because we see here that there may be a feeling, I need to stress this a little bit, there may be some feelings of like potential, I don't want to say jealousy potentially arising right now, but it almost could feel like that, because it's almost looking at something and feeling a frustration point and saying, well, why can't I have that? Why don't I have that? What do I need to adjust or accommodate for that would allow that to occur? So being able to like process through that right now, masculine energy and separation, I think that that's really important. Now, feminine energy in separation right now, this is feminine energy that is literally holding masculine at a distance. That like, it's ironic because masculine's usually pushing feminine away. This is feminine now employing the masculine, same tactic, but feminine's almost like talking through masculine through like hurdles, through like tangible hurdles, because this is a feminine energy that is trying to put some distance between them and masculine, because this is a feminine energy that's trying to effectively suss out right now if the masculine energy that's coming towards them is actually in a state or space that they truly desire divine union or not. And this is feminine energy that's almost at this point of like looking at the masculine energy and saying, are you truly here? Do you actually want balance? Are you actually here to create balance? Or are you coming in with the same energy that caused some chaos in the past? Are you just here to make more confusion? This is the feminine, like the one thing the feminine is trying to avoid right now is introducing any kind of variable that's going to upset any of the balance that they've been working on creating for their own self right now. And it's creating a level of high degree of discernment for the feminine energy and separation, because this is feminine energy that is effectively saying in some way, shape, or form, I'm the one thing I'm not allowing towards us right now is this feeling of someone coming in just to upset the balance, of just creating chaos, of not necessarily having that intentionality, that driven purpose, and actually wanting divine union. Feminine's almost looking right now and seeing if the masculine's actually in emotional balance and seeking that, or if they're just moving from their own center of passion. If they're just moving from a state or space where they're thinking unilaterally for their own needs and their own desires, or if they're just moving from their own center of passion. If they're just moving from a state or space where they're thinking unilaterally for their own needs and their own desires, which puts solution. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now, between our Eight of Swords, and our King of Wands, may I please have one card to clarify? Two cards to clarify. What did I just say? So, masculine and feminine that are in divine union. I did also need to stress this. I'm sorry, I skipped ahead a bit. One of the things we also need to point out here, for the energy that's in the divine union frequency right now, this is what we see about the feminine being so careful right now. This is why feminine is feeling some anxiety in terms of the bridges masculine's potentially trying to build right now in healing. Because this is feminine energy that's effectively saying, to a certain extent, that fear of creating something that would upset the balance right now is very high. Feminine is almost seeing right now and experiencing, if in divine union, like the perfection of balance that is required to maintain that point. And so feminine right now, this is why we see feminines utilizing a lot of discernment. And the difficulty right now that we're seeing for the energy in the divine union is the difference between feminine trying to let something ride, if you will, versus masculine wanting to put in more. Right? This is masculine wanting, being feminine's almost looking at the divine union being this is good. We should just let it ride, stay here. Masculine's or we could double down. Or we could double down. We could continue forward on this healing. And feminine's this is what we're effectively seeing. And that's happening too, even for the energy coming into divine union as it relates to trying to mollify any of this energy around the divine union that may have created some of this upset. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Between our Eight of Swords, our King of Wands, we've got here, do you see what I'm seeing here? Our Four of Wands in combination with our Five of Wands. And this is why we see, even in divine union right now, there may be a little difference of opinion in terms of planning. Because we see here that masculine energy wants to move forward in some way, shape, or form and do something. They want to make some changes here. Masculine energy, hammer to nail here, wants to take a lot of this emotional growth and apply it in spaces and places that they feel need it. Feminine is feeling a lot more reserved in doing so. Why is feminine energy to take a lot of this emotional growth and apply it in spaces and places that they feel need it? Feminine is feeling a lot more reserved in doing so. Why is feminine ancestral history, the energetic ancestral history, that moving from the best of intentions sometimes does not yield the best results? Feminine is being much more conscientious right now. Feminine is trying to be more in that conservative space or place, holding on to things, just trying to create security. Because for feminine right now, this is almost wanting to kind of this energy of wanting to get a little bit more solicitous, wanting to close off to a certain extent, because feminine is looking at feminine's almost anticipating and seeing a lot of those fraught territories, a lot of those points of anxiety. Feminine's almost seeing here, and this could be almost feeling like a little bit of the feminine energy right now, moving in a state or space of anxiety, because you're letting your own mind forecast what could go wrong so much that it's limiting your own ability to move forward. Masculine, if in this modality of seeing feminine in this is almost feminine, effective masculine almost saying to feminine, tell me what your fears are. Tell me what your concerns are. Because masculine is almost saying, if you foresee a problem, it shouldn't limit you in moving forward. Masculine's that's where we should put the work. So masculine's almost encouraging the feminine, trying to say to them, don't let those fears limit you. let them be the space or place that you start to do the work. Like, let that be our building ground, the places that you're feeling that anxiety. Masculine and feminine right now, this is coming through. If you're coming into divine union right now, this is that modality of feminine. Masculine wanting to protect the feminine to a certain extent from any energy that may feel like it was trying to pull the divine union apart. Again, we almost see here that masculine isn't necessarily potentially, if this is happening, being as open to feminine. If feminine's expressing some doubts and fears as to where that energy came from, masculine may be trying to work on two different fronts here, mollifying the feminine energy, trying to alleviate their doubts and fears while also addressing them. This is almost a masculine. It may feel a little like masculine isn't being as upfront with feminine right now if coming into the divine union frequency about their own concerns, because this is almost a masculine that doesn't want to amplify the negative. But what we appreciate for the energy coming into the divine union frequency is almost the masculine taking note of anything that the feminine has said to them about their own doubts and fears, and almost like personally saying to themselves, that's where I'm going to put the work in. I am also seeing that anxiety point that the feminines have, and masculine's almost taking the note, if you will, as it relates to how they're approaching and conducting things going forward. Feminine energy in separation right now. I'm just going to say it. There's a lot of, I'm not surprised. We're in the retrograde. Feminine's got a lot of masculine energy coming towards them right now. Some of this could be from the past. Some of it could be from the past. Feminine energy is trying to suss out right now with the energy coming towards them. And again, saying, have you actually learned something? Are you actually in a space or place? State your business. Like, this is feminine, almost like holding a wall up and saying, state your business. Why are you here? What are you coming forward with now? Why now? Why is this? Tell me what your intentions are. Feminine's almost saying, because the first thing you need to do is clarify what your intentions are. What you desire, and I will tell you whether there's going to be communication here, because feminine energy is looking at some circumstances and situations right now, and again, feeling potentially like masculine energy in the past has created these points of conflict for her. They've created these points of uncertainty. They've created this chaos, and feminine energy is basically saying, are you a part of the problem? Are you still a part of that problem? Or are you part of the solution? And feminine's basing that entirely on what is being communicated by the part of the masculine. And feminine is observing the masculine to a certain extent to see if there's that level of understanding and accountability that will clarify to the feminine whether this is a masculine that's only trying to serve their own needs and desires, or if this is a masculine that is truly desiring balance and partnership. Masculine energy in separation right now. This could be a feeling of a lot of personal frustration right now. Masculine, you could be feeling right now like, you may be feeling kind of stuck. This is going to feel like a little bit potentially like a limbo effect, and feeling like, again, you're feeling a little stuck in this moment right now, and you're potentially feeling like there's some frustrations as it relates to the plans going forward that need some point of clarity. There's this moment that we see here for masculine that's almost feeling like there's this like kind of perpetual conflict here. And we see for the masculine in this modality right now, a lot of this is coming from the state or space of communication. And if this is communication with the feminine, it could be seeing and experiencing and feeling a feminine that is somewhat closed off from you. And we see here, but again, this is masculine energy that is trying to employ that higher rationale, that higher understanding, because there's almost this moment right now where, again, and if this work is like positive, this is masculine energy employing this to be a point of understanding and activation. It's like looking at the chaos that you may find yourself in right now and not saying to yourself, why is this happening to me? Almost having that point of asking oneself, how did I get myself in this situation? And what do I need to do to move out of it? But what's beautiful about it from the masculine energy in this modality right now, it's almost that point in recognizing and taking that sense of personal accountability and saying, if I got myself, again, remember that snarl I just described yesterday with like the karmic knots? This is almost masculine feeling that amplification and saying, if I got myself into this mess, I can get myself out. I just need to figure out, I just need to get enough data points to figure out how to do so. And I need to start and this is almost masculine potentially coming into a space and saying, if I can't, I need to start asking for some help. That point and that value point of vulnerability and recognizing that it is okay to ask for help, because asking for help isn't a weakness. It is saying to someone, I need you to teach me. I need to learn. I am coming into a role of wanting to learn. That asking for help isn't, it's like, this is literally like one of those moments. It's like the universe saying to masculine and separation, like, you got phone a friend. Anytime you want, you just phone a friend. The energy's there. The feminine energy's there. You got to phone a friend. But the key thing in phoning a friend is you have to tell them what you need. So this could even be a masculine energy right now in separation, like making some like innocuous phone calls, but like even the energy being like, is everything okay? And them being like, yeah, everything's fine. Like, everything's fine. So masculine, if you need assistance, talk. Use apri la boca, okay? Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Wow, is this how they were? Or was this how they were? I can't remember where these kings are. I think they were like this. They're like this. We're going to read them between like this. Between King of Wands and our King of Cups energy. May I please have one card to clarify? Oh, I'm also skipping ahead too. Continuing to clarify, yes. One card to clarify. We've got here our King of Pentacles. Who are all these? Jeez, we got all the kings out. We've got the King of Pentacles here. Okay, so this is a lot of masculine energy. This is a lot of masculine energy. Okay. Masculine energy. Okay, this is okay. I got it. All right, thank you. All right. Masculine energy that's in divine union. What is the masculine energy trying to do in divine union? Which is actually very sweet. Masculine energy in divine union is trying to mend a lot of fences. They're trying to heal a lot of things right now. They're moving in that state or space. Because this is almost masculine energy right now, again, being in that modality of wanting to share their riches. It's like coming into that state and feeling like the masculine's in this point of saying like, this feeling I'm having, this point I'm in, this is abundance that I want to share with others. So the masculine energy in this modality right now is almost looking at something in a different way than the feminine, because masculine's almost saying like, this is almost masculine agreeing with the feminine and saying to the feminine, like, I know your anxiety points, but those anxiety points I don't experience them the way that you do because I'm in the masculine energy. Bearing in mind, this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. This is masculine energy, almost even saying to feminine. This is actually feminine. I need to stress this. This is masculine energy, almost saying to feminine, if feminine's feeling any of those anxiety points, like this is masculine energy, almost saying to feminine, being like, you don't have anything to worry about. Especially as it relates to energy taking advantage of you. Because this is literally masculine energy being like, you don't have to worry about me. They have to worry about me and all of my friends. And all of my friends. This is masculine energy that's almost amplifying. Again, this is what we mean about the divine frequency. Like this is that energy of being like, it's like a little bit of Robin Hood kind of thing going here. Like, this is like, you don't understand. It's like, this is almost masculine, almost immediately amplifying to feminine and saying, not only do you have me supporting you, but you've got all of this energy around you that's also supporting you in this way. So you don't have anything to worry about here. Feminine seeing this right now, like again, it's almost that amplification of feminine feeling that point of validation, because it's not just the fact of you're seeing masculine energy in that modality. It's almost masculine saying, I am trying to spread this frequency because the more energy I spread this frequency with, the better it is for you ultimately. It's almost like all of that energy coming in to support you as well, right? That's what we're effectively seeing here for the energy and the divine frequency. And for feminine, it's again, almost feeling that point of amplification, because it's almost that moment of masculine saying, not to trigger anyone, like, it's not all of us. Whatever you experience, it's not all of us. And I'm here to show you that. Now, masculine and feminine that are coming into the divine union frequency, this is that moment that we are effectively seeing wherein we recognize that coming into the divine union frequency right now is this moment of masculine, like almost articulating the energy to the other masculines towards them that they're moving into divine union. And this is almost masculine energy right now. If there was any kind of pressure that was put on the divine union that was creating a challenging space for the masculine, this is masculine almost getting some points of advice from other masculine energy on what to effectively do about it. This could even be a lot of the masculine energy right now, again, almost articulating to the other masculine energy, saying like, I am firm on my choice. This is what I would like to do. I'm not necessarily changing that. And this is almost masculine energy, like reaching out to other masculine energy in divine union, and masculine energy being like, well, welcome to the club. Like you finally kind of like moved into that state or space that you're ready to like navigate that responsibility. Masculine and feminine energy in separation right now, a lot of masculine energy potentially around you at this time. And what we're effectively identifying at this moment is almost this point that we are seeing where the feminine energy is trying to determine what energy actually seeks divine union, what energy is actually seeking that sort of balance versus any energy that feels like they don't even understand what it is they're looking for. The feminine energy is almost feeling that point of affirmation through communication right now to try to decide if the energy around them has basically like matured enough that they're seeking that they're in that modality, that they understand that that is what they like, that is the value point, versus trying to move in a modality of playing games or looking at situations and circumstances that don't desire divine union, or wanting to be in a space or place where they feel like, you know, feminine energy is more like Pokemon cards that can be collected. Masculine energy in separation right now. Is it boys' night? A lot of energy here of masculine. Just again, potentially feeling like you're not having a lot of breakthrough points around feminine right now. So this could be a lot of masculine energy that's staying very close to other masculine energy. But again, almost having this point of self-correction, having this point of discussing things, having some points of like sussing things out, if you will, to have a better understanding of self. So even now we see that this is actually coming through from a space or place of support, because this is almost masculine energy that is articulating and amplifying towards other masculine, saying, what should I do in these scenarios? What do I need to like change? Is this something that's a me problem? Because this is almost masculines finally seeing something that might be a me problem and now bringing it to other masculines, being, is this something that I didn't see? But almost again, going to the right sources to ask the right energy. The right energy, continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our King of Cups in combination with our Justice, in combination with our Lovers card. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our 10 of Cups. Masculine and feminine in divine union. This is that moment that feels like, again, masculine is always focusing on the balance in the union. Masculine is recognizing that that is something that they need to maintain, that their energetic space is always working on that balance point. And masculine almost recognizing that that is an act that is both internal and external. The more they're able to balance it within the self, the more they're able to bring it to those around them right now, being able to like focus on what builds that sense of peace or abundance. It starts with the internal. It starts with finding it within the self. Masculine feeling the power of the divine union is helping them find that emotional balance within the self to be able to perpetuate that. Feminine in divine union. Again, masculine, seeing your own emotional difficulties. And this is a masculine that's immediately, this is almost masculine just trying to like emotionally navigate even a moment that they see that you're having a personal sense of anxiety and limitation on your own sense of being your most vulnerable, authentic self. This is masculine almost immediately coming in to say, you have my support. You have, and not just my support. This is masculine almost saying like, you have my support and you've got the support of like all of my friends. We'll all come build your house. This is masculine literally saying, we're all here. Like you have nothing to worry about. And that's, again, amplifying to feminine that feeling of peace and staying very deep in the heart of the divine union vibration. Masculine and feminine coming into the divine union. This is that moment that we are effectively seeing wherein you are moving in this space or place where you are feeling that security in your choice. Masculine, it's almost that moment that there is energy around you that felt like they were putting pressure on, but you're almost immediately amplifying it by moving towards the right energy to talk to. That's almost like, yeah, of course. This is almost masculine going to other masculines and being like, yeah, I had that happen too. You know? And this is masculine energy in this modality right now that's feeling secure in their choice, because again, it is that moment of remembering and getting that point of recognition that like a divine union is something that you have to constantly navigate. You have to constantly put effort in. You have to constantly work to keep that balance on. It's like, again, being the constant gardener on your own experience is one that, like, for the masculine right now is almost like that point of abundance that's kind of opening up, because the masculine energy coming into this modality, it's almost recognizing that level or degree of responsibility that you're taking on right now in working to maintain that point of balance. Feminine seeing this masculine in this modality right now could potentially feeling like they're seeing a masculine energy that's coming into their maturation point, that's growing spiritually and emotionally, because masculine energy's own priorities have shifted away from personal pleasure and more into the energy surrounding them. Feminine energy in separation, eye on the prize. This is what feminine energy is seeking right now from masculine. This is why feminine's using so much discernment, because feminine energy is like not in a space or place where they're trying to educate masculine on this right now. They're just trying to determine if this is what the masculine energy that's approaching them right now understands and is seeking. And that is the point that the feminine energy will be more like open to receiving the masculine energy, because this is feminine almost looking and saying, have you found this within yourself? Have you figured this out yet? Because I can't teach it to you. And if you figured that out, perfect. And we can move forward from here. Masculine energy and separation right now. This could be masculine energy, again, moving towards energy that already has this to a certain extent. And seeing and recognizing and saying, what do I need to do to achieve that? What did you do? And again, almost masculine energy being in that modality of trying to amplify to other masculine energy, and them saying, like almost a masculine energy saying, you can't, it's not something that you can do. It's something that you have to be. You have to be it. If you aren't embodying it, it's not something that I can give you. You have to be ready to embody it. So, continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. Between, where were we? Yes, this was it. Oops. Our Justice card, our Lover's card, and our Nine of Pentacles in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our Queen of Cups. Okay, this is beautiful energy today. Masculine and feminine energy, divine union. This is all about masculine energy today, alleviating the doubts, anxieties, and fears of the feminine. This is, again, almost like helping the feminine energy come into a space and place, and almost masculine saying to a certain extent, it's okay for you to have those points of anxiety. I want you to share them when you're feeling them. Masculine is almost saying to feminine right now in divine union, my job is to help you recognize that you should feel comfortable and you should be safe expressing those things. If I'm not doing that, then I'm not doing my job in being in the divine union frequency. So this is, again, masculine energy almost moving into that modality wherein we see that the feminine energy is almost like that point of recognizing, and almost like masculine saying, I need the feminine energy in that state of emotional balance, because masculine realizes that feminine is the reason that they're also able to maintain that emotional balance. It's going to feel a little bit today, like, again, I don't want to say this like from a gender space, bearing in mind this is not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Happy wife, happy life. This is masculine being like, the more I can create that sense of peace for you, the more abundance that we have together in this balance. And if you're not comfortable, if you're not feeling safe, if you are feeling anxious, then I'm not doing my job. We're not in divine union. Feminine, you're seeing a masculine energy that's using that level or degree of discernment in being like, you can articulate to me a need. your job in articulating a need. I'm not gonna get mad at you for doing that. I want you to tell me so that I can move in appropriately to alleviate it. That's the feminine immediately, almost again, recognizing being in that frequency, because this isn't masculine energy that, rebukes the feminine for having an anxiety, that uses it to insult or injure the feminine or deny it. This is the masculine that says, what can I do to fix it? And that's the feminine immediately being able to stay in the vibration, because this is the feminine that, again, feels open, feels safe to emotionally communicate a need, recognizing that the masculine is going to do everything in their power to fix it, to fix it. Masculine and feminine in divine union, or coming into divine union right now. This is what you're seeing is occurring right now in the energy of the divine union. Masculine's priority right now is the emotional balance of the feminine. This is almost masculine energy saying, I don't care what the energy around me has to say about the divine union. You are my priority. You are my prize. You are the thing that I hold dear. I'm going to do everything I can to maintain that, because you are the prize, not those outside things. And everything the masculine is doing right now is amplifying to the energy around them. This is a prize. This is my feminine. This is what I've chosen. And that is that point of abundance, because it doesn't matter if you don't understand it. It is my manifestation of my choice is what amplifies it into being sacred. I'm going to say it again for the people in the back. My amplification of my choice is what makes it sacred. The masculine is recognizing that, and that is what is allowing for the divine union to perpetuate, because that is that moment of feminine feeling like the masculine is choosing the feminine, is amplifying that the balance of the feminine's emotions are their priority. And this is also a feminine that, again, is working very hard to maintain that as well, even in the sense, again, potentially feminine, even feeling some guilt or anxiety on some of that energy around them that is targeted towards them, because it almost feels like, in a way, the feminine is feeling guilt that the masculine is experiencing something that feels like it is causing a hurdle in the masculine's energy by them coming into divine union. This is masculine almost immediately saying to feminine, no, it's not, doesn't matter. That they are the disruption. It's not you, they are the disruption. The disruption is outside the house. It's not inside the house. Feminine is seeing that, immediately feeling that point of value. Masculine and feminine. Masculine, if you're in divine union, that's how you're feeling. You're like, this is not, the feminine is not the source of the problem here. It's the energy around us that's trying to affect the divine union that's a problem. Feminine energy in separation right now, this is feminine energy working on their own emotional balance, and they're working on finding the divine union and maintaining into that frequency, and they're not letting in anything that might disrupt it. This is feminine energy that's, and I hate to say this for some of the masculine energy in this modality right now, there is going to be a little bit of a feeling right now for a lot of the feminine energy in separation, which is like guilty, guilty until proven innocent. There's a moment here that's almost requiring, I hate to say it, the masculine energy to effectively prove something here to the feminine, to show in some way, shape, or form that you're not going to be the bull in the china shop, that you're not going to just come in and cause all kinds of havoc and disturb the feminine's peace. There's a moment that the feminine is effectively asking the masculine to show that in some way, shape, or form. And that's a little bit of the hurdle right now for the masculine energy in separation, because you may be experiencing and feeling this right now. For the masculine energy and separation that's healing, this is that observable moment and seeing how you might have been the bull in the china shop in the past. How does one show that you're no longer a bull in a china shop after you've already destroyed the china? That's hard. That's exactly why we see a lot of the masculine energy right now talking to a lot of masculine energy, because this is literally masculine energy being like, I know I used to be the bull in the china shop. I've done enough work on myself that I am no longer the bull in the china shop. The problem is I cannot complain. I cannot explain to the energy around me that I am no longer the bull in the china shop, because they're not letting me in the china shop. Right? It's like public service. You got to go outside the china. You got to start sweeping outside the china shop to start. Maybe that's a good start. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now. This is the 5 of Wands in combination with the 4 of Wands in its reversal. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our temperance. The problem with masculine is like in separation. May I please have one card to clarify? Clarification coming through right now with our temperance. The problem with masculine is like in separation, a point of self-correction that feels like it's coming a little too late. It's like this moment of being like, oh, I already did it. I already did the thing. How do I fix it? And that's almost that moment that may be amplifying for masculine energy in separation right now. That feels a little bit like trying to do you're getting a lot of work done very quickly. You're trying to do a lot at one time because it's almost feeling like, there's this feeling of stuckness because it's almost like there's it feels like there's a disaster area around you that you're trying to clean up in separation right now. And there is a little bit of accountability here that that's it, it feels like there's a disaster area around you that you're trying to clean up in separation right now. And there is a little bit of accountability here that that's it, some of it might be your own circumstance, and it's almost that moment of trying to wanting to rush through it. It's seeing now something in the way that you can and wanting to fix it. It's like your own level or degree of impatience in a way is a bit of the problem here because it is making you feel like you're trying to rush ahead, but also feeling a little stuck at the same time. Feminine energy in separation right now. This is feminine energy that if this is a masculine that's employing any sense of impatience in desiring something, in not being able to move on the feminine energy's clock. This is feminine energy that's seeing a masculine energy that feels like they're not coming to feminine for the desire of divine union, but more from a point of having an agenda. This is like masculine running up to feminine being like, can you heal this for me real quick? Can you just heal this for me real quick? And feminine being like, no, I can't. Because this is feminine energy, again, recognizing that feeling of impatience, of masculine energy moving frenetically is the source of the problem. That's the inconsistency, right? Because an energy that isn't patient, love is patient. Love is patient. The energy is in a rush. Well, then that, in a way, feminine's like, thank you. That's all I needed to see. That's all I needed to see. You can't learn this fast. This is not, it's a vibration that needs to be maintained. You're literally showing me you haven't grasped it yet. You can't learn this quick. Masculine and feminine coming into divine union frequency right now. This is that feeling of not waiting around to fix anything around you. This is literally that moment of being like, that's not our problem. This is masculine and feminine energy that feels like if anyone is trying now, this is that moment. Remember I said there's one strike policy here? This is masculine and feminine that have effectively laid out an olive branch to some energy that may have been oppositional to the divine union. If this is something that is being pushed, this is almost masculine and feminine amplifying and saying, bye. No patience for it. Again, this almost masculine saying we're giving you a pass. Our patience on that pass is limited. There's something here you have to come into an adjustment or accommodation point on, or else you're no longer going to be kind of in that vibration. You're not going to be allowed to be in the same energetic area, if you will. Masculine and feminine in divine union. This is that moment that just feels like you don't have enough time. This is that moment in divine union that feels like you're trying to do a lot of work around you, and it's more about where you can put your time and attention. Because for masculine and feminine right now, it's feeling like there's a lot of chaotic energy around the divine union right now, and it's like you can only put your time, effort, and energy into so many places and spaces. So again, it's more of that sense of discernment that's coming through right now for masculine and feminine on where to put your time, effort, and energy. 4 of Wands in combination with our 10 of Cups. This is very interesting energy, especially for the retrograde. One card to clarify. Knight of Swords. Masculine and feminine in divine union right now. What we are effectively seeing is this moment that masculine, what did I say about masculine in divine union right now? There's no problem that masculine can't solve. Masculine energy is, again, masculine's looking at anything that feels like it might be a problem and immediately wants to apply work to fix it. This is masculine almost encouraging feminine, saying, tell me what your concerns are. I really want to hear them, because masculine appreciates and feels that feminine energy's ability to anticipate problems is a gift. It's giving masculine some attention or focal point on where to put their time, effort, and energy. This is the energy moving in combination. And masculine almost saying, you telling me about a problem isn't a problem. It is why we avoid problems, because you have an ability to anticipate a problem before it occurs. Masculine's like, that's not something that I run from. That's something that I welcome. Even if it's about something that I am doing. Feminine sees that with a masculine. That's a masculine that's open to feedback, both about the situation around them, but also about their own self. Because this is a masculine, it's like, I want to see what I don't see about myself. And if you see it, I want to see it too. Masculine and feminine coming into divine union right now. This is that modality that we see. Masculine has run out of patience here. If there's energy around the masculine that's still bringing some weight or some difficulty on the divine union that the masculine is trying to manifest, and the masculine's been able to maintain this vibration here, if it's still creating those hurdles and problems, masculine is almost moving into a binary and saying, choose. You're either here or you're not. You're either in or you're out. You have to make a decision. Because this is masculine energy saying, I'm not going to allow the outside setbacks to prevent me from moving to my long-term manifestation goal. You're either here or you're not. And this is masculine potentially getting a little short with the energy around them right now, and getting support from other energy that is supporting him to amplify their own energy in terms of what they're trying to create for themselves at this time. Feminine in moving into divine union right now, you could be seeing a masculine who's getting a little bit more defensive about this. It's almost like the masculine now that was trying to tell you to, like, don't worry about something. It's like you're almost seeing the fact that they're saying don't worry to you, but you see the fact that they're getting a little defensive about this, especially if there's something around you right now that's causing some kind of friction in the divine union forming. Feminine energy in separation, it's not the fact that the masculine energy isn't coming towards you right now in a big way. Feminine energy is literally looking at the masculine in separation right now and saying, are you a part of the problem or are you part of the solution? Are you running back now because you've mastered and you've figured out what it is that you actually want? Or are you just coming back with the same energy of need, of immediately wanting something fulfilled? Are you coming back here because you've got an urge, you have something that you need scratched? Or are you coming back with an intent and purpose in terms of what it is that you truly want? And feminine is like almost in a point right now, especially if the masculine's being impatient, that says, I can wait. If you're moving, if feminine as our empress falls off the table, this is literally the feminine going, I can wait. I am not letting my heart space guide me. I need to see if you're coming back right now or you're coming towards me because you want something immediately the way you want it. Like, this is not a pizza delivery service. You can't have the thing that you want when you want it. Are you actually here because you want a pizza from me, or are you actually here because you want to buy a shop? Do you want to learn how to make pizza, or are you just coming here for some pizza? Right? This is literally feminine being like, state your business. Show me what the rush is. Are you rushing because you finally figured out what it is you actually want? Or are you rushing because you got some kind of like immediate surface level need? You're trying to scratch an itch, or are you actually trying to build something? Continuing, masculine energy in separation right now. This is that moment that, again, it is feeling the weight of something if you're coming into healing, because you recognize that you may be at a point right now where you want to come into a point of accommodation. But the problem is that, you're feeling excited in what you actually want, but you're recognizing that you need to be patient, and you're not feeling patient at all right now. It's an internal struggle here, because it's almost that moment of recognizing that your lack of patience on the short term may keep on blocking your long-term goals. It's thinking on a broader perspective. The short term, those short-term little dalliances, those short-term immediate doing what that one pleases in the moment may be blocking your long-term manifestation goal. Because it's like you're constantly, you're taking little detours. You're taking little detours and you're never making it to the castle because you keep doing side quests. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our 10 of Cups in combination with our Queen of Cups. Clarification coming through right now with our 5 of Cups. Well, 5 of Pentacles. What am I saying? Feminine and masculine right now. One of the hurdles is feminine is dealing with the abandonment wound. Feminine is dealing with the abandonment wound. What did I say? Masculine. Seeing masculine operate in this modality, seeing masculine leading with their heart space is triggering to the feminine, because feminine is almost building a fear of the masculine in this modality, because feminine energy is observing the times when she has tried to move with the best of intentions, and now masculine's basically saying almost to feminine in union, well, you know that happened because you were being taken advantage of. This is literally masculine almost saying to feminine, like, I hate to say it to you, but that happened because you were being taken advantage of. And the difference right now is I'm not taking advantage of you. And for feminine in that modality right now, it is hard because feminine is confronting an abandonment wound because they realize they're no longer in that space or place. It's almost feminine having to see the abandonment wound and look at things in a way and say, like, yeah, I was taken advantage of in those moments. Feminine observing that right now, even in the divine union frequency, is difficult because it's not that feeling isn't there. It's a feminine still confronting it, even in the safe space. A lot of trauma-informed care today for the feminine energy in the divine union frequency. Masculine energy in the divine union frequency, this is seeing the feminine energy's abandonment wound and feeling it to a certain extent and having to assure the feminine, seeing, I see that's that wound. It's masculine almost again. This is why this is the divine union frequency, because this isn't a masculine energy that's taking advantage of a feminine's abandonment wound. This is masculine affirming, even as the wound comes up, I am not going to utilize this to leverage it. I'm going to protect it at all costs. You are safe to confront your abandonment wound here because I'm not going to utilize it against you. Masculine and feminine coming into the divine union frequency. This is masculine. You've had to potentially see points right now of seeing why the feminine is so anxious and afraid right now of that outside energy. This could even be feminine articulating to you past experiences where they've seen and recognized that this led to the dissolution of the divine union. Masculine, you may even be seeing it in yourself, which is what may be so scary right now. It could be a moment that feminine articulating to you in a way that you didn't experience before, how outside energies took away a divine union frequency. Maybe feeling very shocking to masculine because it's showing you something that you didn't see in that way, that you're now observing. And so in a way, it's almost mutually triggering why we see masculine getting so touchy about this now, because masculine is also experiencing the abandonment wound. But the thing is, masculine isn't turning the abandonment wound on the feminine as they may have been led to in the past. Masculine, feminine is looking at energy around them that's saying, why are you trying to trigger my abandonment wound? This is masculine and feminine confronting their own abandonment wound in the sanctity of the divine union that is adjusting and accommodating for the behavior outside of it. Feminine energy in separation right now, this is that moment that, again, looking and seeking this for yourself right now is very triggering. Feminine energy is literally like speaking to masculine right now, if in separation, through a cage that feminine has created around themselves. And feminine's almost like, I put this around myself. I created this safe space because it is not safe where you are. This is feminine being like, I am stopping myself from what's the feminine want to do. Feminine energy wants to heal. Feminine energy is literally this is like feminine energy putting themselves somewhere and saying, I'm creating a barrier and I'm not letting myself do that. I am objectively observing my own abandonment wound, focusing on what it is that I aspire for. Feminine saying, I'm going to stop this with me. I'm not going to let myself feel like I need to run up and heal everything I can heal. It's not my responsibility. This is feminine almost saying, I need to see that the masculine has learned this ability. I need to see that they can show me that they can do the same in kind. Masculine in separation right now, this is that moment that you are potentially feeling like you have been abandoned. But there could be a moment that is happening where you are recognizing that if you feel like you have been abandoned, it is potentially because you were pushing a lot of energy away from you up until this point, and then saying that you were abandoned in the process. This is masculine also, again, what we like in separation right now, confronting the abandonment wound. But the problem that's potentially happening right now with masculine energy and separation is observing this abandonment wound could be from seeing feminine energy from afar that has and is maintaining the manifestation goal that you may have aspired and desired. And it is that moment that for masculine, again, going into that process and recognizing this right now, that point of outside looking in a way is going to feel a lot more difficult for you right now, because if you're in separation, it could be feeling like you're in the abandonment wound, experiencing that, but you may potentially be recognizing that you're not necessarily there due to a lack of care of the energy around you, but more due to your own choices. It's like if you're in an alleyway in the cold, are you there because someone put you there? Or are you there because you walked away from someone in that alleyway? Did you take that journey that led you to that space? And were there others that were trying not to? Did you walk away from someone that got you in that abandonment wound? Like, is that where you found yourself? And for masculine going through this right now, it is that point of observation on where you are now. And it may be triggering because it's that point of comparison and seeing feminine energy around you and feeling the weight of potentially recognizing that you could have had that with some feminine energy, but you made the choice not to. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Temperance in its reversal in combination with our Knight of Swords. But that's also healing. Seeing that in your own self is how you begin to heal. Clarification coming through right now with love these cards today. Our Seven of Cups in its reversal. Masculine and feminine in divine union. Masculine is, again, recognizing the value of the divine union, which is, again, it's not something you choose once. It's not something that you set and forget. You choose it over and over and over and over and over and over every day. Every day you wake up and you make the choice again. Every day you make the choice in terms of where you're going to focus your time, attention, and energy. And this is feminine seeing masculine that realizes this. And that's why feminine is allowing that masculine energy can have all the choices. This is not a point of a feminine feeling like they need to isolate the masculine's own choice. This is a feminine that feels confident in a masculine saying you can have all the choices around you. I trust you to always make the right choice. Because masculine is showing that their judgment is the divine union. Their ability to choose is the point. The consistency in terms of what they choose, and the ability, the judgment to always choose it. That is where the feminine feels that strength of masculine, because this is a feminine divine union saying, I don't even have to think about it. I don't even need to question where the loyalty of this masculine energy is. This masculine in every single action shows me they choose me, shows me they choose me. I don't even have to blink. Feminine feeling that is immediately feeling that amplification. That's why feminine says, and that's why I choose that masculine energy. Bearing in mind that's not based on gender, but what it feels most aligned to. Feminine almost literally says, the reason I choose the masculine is because the masculine shows me in action and deed that in every way, shape, or form, they always choose me. Do you see that beautiful mirror? Do you see how that mirror can be a positive? Right? That's a battery. Masculine and feminine coming into divine union. Feminine starting to see this. Feminine starting to feel this engine pick up. Feminine starting to feel that change. This is feminine seeing masculine that's kind of rushing to the aid, because this is masculine that's, again, holding the consistency point. This is feminine almost being like, and he's holding it. This isn't a momentary song. This is someone who's showing me that they can hold the note. This person isn't wavering. They're staying in the divine union frequency, and they're showing me through their actions that they're continuing to choose it. Feminine in separation, this is feminine seeking this right now. And it's not the fact that feminine doesn't see a lot of masculine energy coming towards them right now in separation. Feminine's looking at them and saying, can you hold a note? Can you show me Show me through your actions. And here's the funny thing. If you get waylaid, if you have to wait for something, are you still going to want it? Or is this something that's momentary? Is this on your time? Is this something that you're choosing because you want it now, but in about like 4 hours, you'll change your mind in about 4 days? Is this just something that happened momentarily where you just having a minute? Or is this something that you actually want? This is feminine energy almost saying to the masculine in separation, I'm going to need you to show me that this is actually something that you're interested in. Masculine energy in separation right now, this is that moment that, again, whatever's happening at this point is a lot of that deep internal journey, because it is affirming to you what it is that you truly want right now. And it will feel like a bit of an energy of like that rushing effect, because there may be something that you're recognizing about your own self that you're ready to change. And it's helping you focus on what your actual purpose is. It's like your purpose right now is clear. And masculine right now is more about trying to rush forward right now because that sense of purpose is feeling so strong. Continuing to get clarification on these cards right now between our Knight of Swords in combination with our Five of Pentacles. One card to clarify. Nine of Swords in its reversal. Masculine and feminine in divine union. This is that moment that we're effectively identifying that, again, it's not the fact that masculine and feminine aren't going through some difficulties, aren't going through some hurdles. This is why the divine union has so much power and strength, because it is that moment of masculine, again, amplifying and saying, at a moment's notice, the masculine energy is there. Feminine energy in this modality is almost that moment. It says, I can confront anything because I know that at any moment, masculine will be there to support. It's not even a question. Feminine energy, masculine in separation right now, in divine union. This is also that moment. The thing that we're seeing here, again, this is masculine energy almost now coming into a state or space that like the feminine energy's own abandonment wounds are becoming your own. This is almost masculine saying like, I don't feel that these are different than mine. Our energies are aligned to such a degree that if a feminine is feeling that ache, masculine's like, that is also mine. We are in sync. Their pain is my pain. Their hurt is mine. This is where we see the divine union happening. And masculine's almost saying to feminine, not on my watch, because you might be able to bear it. You might be able to just bear it. Masculine's like, I can't bear it. And that's that point of masculine, again, coming into alignment with their own feminine energy. Feminine and masculine coming into divine union, it's the same thing. This is masculine almost saying like, I'm not going to abandon you. Your pain is my pain. This is our pain. This isn't something you have to bear. This is something we bear together. Energy in separation. This is feminine energy feeling a little bit of the abandonment wound happening because there's a lot of energy of masculine coming towards them right now. Feminine in separation may desire this feminine masculine energy. Feminine doesn't want to hold this masculine apart. But this is feminine feeling the grief and feeling and saying, I need to push you away. Even if you're coming back towards me right now, even if you're coming back and you're the thing that I want more than anything, I can't accept you here. And it's breaking the feminine energy's heart in separation to do so, because it's feminine saying, I need you to show me that you've changed. This isn't about the feminine. This is the feminine learning that heart space moment, saying this isn't about how I feel. This is about me healing you by showing you how you need to change so we can come into divine union. Masculine energy in separation right now, there could be a moment that you are feeling the full weight of an abandonment wound, and it feels like, again, there's something here to a certain degree that feels overwhelming, because there could be a point of objectivity now where something that you aspired and desired, you're now feeling is not available or accessible to you. It's feeling like it is like you're seeing it around you. And now is that moment that I have to say, this is going to be much more triggering for the masculine embodying this right now. And I need to stress that the masculine in separation, make sure you're getting that support today. Because there's this moment that's like almost inciting you into action. And that could be even feeling a little bit volatile right now, because it's that observation and seeing something that you effectively aspire and desire, and recognizing that you may have had an opportunity to have it that you let slip through. Continuing to get clarification right now. But that is also, if that is happening, that is an amplification of your own growth process. It's amplifying how much you've grown, because now you can identify that you've changed as a person from being the person that would allow that to slip through in the first place. Final cards for today's spread between our Seven of Cups in its reversal in combination with our Nine of Swords. May I please let the final card. This is so retrograde, past coming back up to the surface. Masculine and feminine right now are willing to navigate that. They're doing it together. They're doing it in unison. This is masculine and feminine coming into the divine union saying, bring it on. It's like masculine and feminine being like, even because it is the shared burden of the past coming forward, and masculine and feminine almost amplifying their own choice at this time. It's just creating that energy of like doubling down, if you will, and saying like, I choose you over and over and over again, for better, for worse, no matter what. This is what we do together. Your pain is my pain. We share this. Masculine and feminine coming into the divine union frequency. This is the same exact energy. Feminine is feeling, again, it's going to feel more triggering to feminine right now, because it's reminding feminine of those moments where they felt that someone did not choose them every moment. Masculine and feminine in separation. This is feminine energy feeling a lot of pain and weight right now if a masculine's coming towards them, because feminine even now wants to accept that masculine back, but feels like they need to wait. There's a moment where feminine almost feels like they need to push that energy away if the masculine hasn't learned this ability. And that feels so hard for the feminine, because that's feminine almost like pushing away the thing that they want most, because it's the observation that it's not the person that they want most. It's the fact that that energy isn't desiring of the same connection. And if that energy isn't in that space of understanding that, then to be able to move into something with them would kind of be like, it would just be like torture. It would just create a space or place that doesn't give the feminine the ability to like have that connection point with the masculine. It's impossible. It's like the feminine needs to push the masculine away to see if the masculine has learned these lessons, has come into that, or is ready to learn those lessons together. Masculine in separation right now, this could be a feeling of the past coming back to haunt you right now. And it's difficult because it's like now you see something from the past that you didn't see before. It's almost like the present is showing you what you could have had. And it's that observation point that, again, is almost firming up your own choice in how to move forward, the changes that you're going to make. It's like your own purpose is becoming clear through a moment of grief observed around past experiences and seeing something in a way that you didn't see it before. Bottom of the deck, again, the Fool. All energy at play right now. We are seeing that again. This is why we like these retrogrades, because it may be feeling difficult and heavy, but it's also a point of building new experiences, building new opportunity. The Fool is a reminder, even for energy right now in separation, hope is never lost. Hope springs eternal. There's always a new path that can unfold. Nothing is ever lost. You just need to think of a new way of a new way of thinking, a new possibility, a new opportunity, a new path that you may need to forge in order to get the thing that you're seeking. And again, allowing that hope not to crush you, allowing that to be a point of inspiration going forward, that is the difference between feeling like that sense of uncertainty versus letting that be something that inspires. That is our daily collective read for today. I'd like to thank you guys so much for being here and experiencing it. Just a reminder, if you'd like to book a private reading with me, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. My private readings are done over video, and if you are a subscriber to my TikTok, you can take 10% off any of my services when you pay. Just mention your subscriber ID at the point of payment. Please keep in mind, if you book a reading with me on my website, it is a two-step process. You have to book the reading and pay for the reading. Please make sure you do both if you'd like to have that reading. Most importantly, please remember, I will never reach out to you for a reading. I will never DM you. I will never PM you. I will never slide into your inbox and tell you that I have a very important message and only I can deliver. The only way you can book a reading with me is if you book one on my website. So I encourage you to do it there. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me today and sharing with me in these messages. And we will do this again